Hello, old souls and new souls alike. This is Libra Bruja. How are you guys this evening? I'm doing quite well. In today's subject, we are talking about the Ouija board. And what's fascinating about this Ouija board is that everybody want to do this occult paranormal activity type thing to see if ghosts are real or spirits are real or the dimension or the other planet are real. And although it is quite fascinating, it is something to be cautious about and be wary of the rules of the Ouija that's been handed down from generations since the Ouija since it's been invented. So the origins of the Ouija is in the state of Maryland, and it was made by Elijah Bond, of which he's a very interesting fellow because he has his grave is like the Ouija board, but it doesn't say Ouija. And imagine this, guys. There's a rectangular Ouija shaped board that has the A, B, and C, just like the Ouija, but it has the and in the middle, which is the epicent, and then the numbers 1 through 0. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 0. And at each corners, the white hand side, and don't quote me on this because I don't know my right to my left, you guys. The right hand side is what we thought is the sun. It's actually a circle with a face on it that say yes. And then across from it, there's a moon that like a frowning face, a crescent moon with a frowning face that say no. And then below it is two black stars in each corner from right to left. And then there's a goodbye, but instead of like goodbye in total, it's like good. And then there's two figures that look like pioneers or something, and then bye. So that's his grave. This is Elijah Bond's grave, which is very unique. And I don't know why he didn't put his name on it. It's just like maybe he just want everybody to know that he's the one who invented this board. But it was invented in Baltimore in 1891, and he brought together William Fole, Isaac Fole, a Commodore, I don't know who that is, and Elisha Bond, a local attorney, to start the Kennard Novelty Company. Elijah Bond grave is located nearby in Greenmont Cemetery and is notable for being designed like the Ouija board without the Ouija word on it, which is crazy. So through many of its kind existing previously, the name Ouija is now synonymous for all spirit boards. The name was coined by Helen Peters, a medium who was testing out the board with her brother-in-law Elijah Bond one night. When asked what they should call the board, the planchette spelled out Ouija. When asked what that meant, the board responded with good luck. And let me put my input in here that I felt that whatever spirit answer what the board should be called is mocking them, saying, or being sarcastic to them, saying good luck, like good luck what it's meant. Because right after they named the Ouija, a lot of crazy things happen to people that they are not and we already know, and you hear the stories that people play the Ouija and nothing good come out of it. Like, for example, William Fole was known to be a regular user of a Ouija board. And in fact, in 1917, The Ouija board told Foal to prepare for big business. So he followed the instructions to build his largest facility down the road on Halford Road. But in 1927, William Foal fell from the roof of a building that the Ouija board told him to build. He died, and he let his family know whenever he died to keep the Ouija boards in the family. That's crazy, y'all. If I knew that I am building a great business and it's going on well, everybody thinking, oh yeah, Ouija means good luck. But I had to fall from my death and not reap the benefits, but just my family reaping the benefits. Yeah, that's kind of like a bad luck omen of aborted. Like, that's crazy. And then a just to ask your family to keep the Ouija boards in the family, it's like, that is, I don't know, that's not good. It's like keeping a graveyard, a graveyard Stonehenge in the family's living house. That's also a bad luck, according to most people who actually collected graveyard dirt, graveyard skulls, which is don't highly recommend people doing that, and the tombstones and graveyard uh, headstones in their home, because there is a severe paranormal and poltergeist activity if you do so. So I highly suggest not to do that at all. Is and Ouija is one of them, because it is for the spirits and for the dead, and also for the entities that would love to keep talking to you all the time. So, what makes this thing, the Ouija, a big thing? Well, after this guy died, the Ouija board was acquired by Hasbro in 1991. And since then, everybody knows about the Ouija in the 90s. They use it. The movie The Craft use it. I'm just kidding. They don't. But it's everywhere in our subculture in the 90s and the early 2000s. And it's something about it that a lot of people want to know if there's an afterlife, or is there ghosts, are there entities? And it's like, our ancestors been here longer than the Ouija board. And the answer is yes. There are ghosts, there are entities, and there are creatures beyond our understanding that we should not be knocking on the door and being disrespectful in their realm. Especially the most stupid, blameless one. That's what I'm here for. The do's and don'ts. There are instructions on how to use the Ouija board. Now, there's many ways to use the Ouija board that was garnered by a lot of people who experience the one on one hand with a group of people that are more experienced, more spiritually cleansed, and spiritually well endowed by many practice in their life. And they know the Ouija board can be a beneficial to their livelihood. So I don't suggest everybody to do it. And I know I mentioned earlier that everybody using the Ouija is mostly the people who don't understand what a Ouija is, and they go in blindly, not realizing the rules of do's and don'ts. So the people who know about the rules are the well gifted people of psychic, the witches, the people who do magic, the people who actually been practicing Ouija in their family for generations. And they also set up rules on their websites and their forums and Reddit to make sure that everybody could follow these rules so they won't have to suffer from what other people go through who go in blindly. So there's one that I actually picked up, and it's the first one I used from many years ago, like in the early 2000s. And it's like how to use an Ouija board safely, 18 rules, do's and don'ts. And according to this, it says Ouija boards can be a fun and exciting way to connect with spirits. You might be worried about attracting negative spirits, but there's no reason to fear. We tell you everything you need to know to use your Ouija board safely. You and your friends will be having fun around the spirit board in no time. Things you should know: pick a quiet place to use your Ouija board, cleanse it with sage or incense to remove any negativity. Invite your friends to use your Ouija board with you, and make sure everyone is in a good mood. Be polite to the spirits, and always remember to say goodbye to end your session. So there's the setting of the Ouija board. When you set your location where the Ouija board, you find a sorry, you find a quiet place with no distraction. You need to focus to connect to the spirit world. So choose a place where you feel peaceful and relaxed. Then silence your phone and any electronic device so you won't be interrupted. And also from my experience, that there will be spirits that suck up the energy from your device, like your camera that's fully charged, a fully charged phone, or also a fully charged battery bank that you swear you fill it up and you never use it, and for some reason it goes down. So you might have heard that it is dangerous to use a Ouija board at home. As long as you do it safely, there's no reason to worry. If you're afraid, you could always use it outside or at a local park. Leave the lights on if it makes you feel more comfortable. Spirits can feed off of energy and sense fear, so being really afraid could make you more of a magnet for negative spirits. So these 2 points, the one about hey using the spirit board at home, I believe is where you do your spirit board section from, because if anybody know this from history, that the living room is known as the mourning room, where the people originally mourn for the dead, and that's why they call it the living room. So I would not suggest to use your Ouija board in the living room, your bedroom, and the kitchen. If you have a playroom, more than likely you could use it in there, because Hasbro, bought a Ouija, so it's more like a playing type of thing. That, and also the you can what excuse me, depends on your playing room. You could set your candles, your cleansing ritual around the playing room, just as long as not in the attic or the basement. Okay? And they say leave the lights on if you feel comfortable. And that is very much correct, because the lights make you a little bit ease from the dark if you are susceptible, afraid of the dark. And also you will be having candles with you when you do the Ouija session. So the next rule is that don't use a Ouija board in a graveyard. Doing a seance in the graveyard is, spooky goals, but graveyards can have chaotic spiritual energy. While it might make for a great story, you could have trouble connecting with a single spirit in the cemetery, and you may wind up an unwanted entity. To be On a safe side, pick another spot to use your Ouija board. I that is most definitely so, especially if you live in America and there are unmarked graves. Let me say this: unmarked graves. Like, for example, your school, you thinking your school is safe, you don't know if it's built under a cemetery. You think the park is safe, you don't know if it's built over a cemetery. You think the hospital would be safe at the courtyard, you don't know if it's marked by a cemetery from the military age. You don't know. A lot of American uh, states have unmarked burial ground, even the Native American burial ground. So you thinking you're contacting a wholesome spirit, but it might be a vengeful spirit that is very angry, that has been disturbed in on the resting grounds. So make sure you have your pendulum with you and ask your pendulum if this was a graveyard or a cemetery or a place where the dead is lying right now. And if it say yes, do not do any Ouija board session at all, because you don't want that entity very, very angry and then it start following you home. So I highly suggest not to do that. So the third one is cleanse. Oh, excuse me. Cleanse the space of negative energy. A cleansing can help protect you while you talk to the spirits. Try burning sage or lighting incense to purify your space. You might burn myrrh, frankincense, dragon's blood, corpus, and or amber. You could also surround your Ouija board with crystal, which I had to say clear quartz. Oh, it said it right there. With crystal or a circle of salt. If you had crystal, you could use black tourmaline, clear quartz, or amethyst. And the best, all the best one, obsidian. Make sure that obsidian is consecrated with your intention, because if you just brought like obsidian without consecrating it, then the the spirit will use it against you. Trust me, it's good to consecrate your obsidian before you do the cleanse the space of negative energy. Okay? Cleanse your board. And this is a big, big deal because a lot of people forgot to cleanse the board, except for the experts. So your board can hang on to energy. So it's a good idea to cleanse it. If you sage, light it, waft the smoke over your board and pointer. Alternatively, sprinkle some rose water over the board while saying simple protective prayer. You can even make up your own. I have come across a lot of prayers, which one is convoluted long, and some is short and sweet, and some is so powerful that I feel like that's the best one for cleansing the spiritual Ouija board, because that is mwah. So here are an example of protection prayer. I clear the space of all negativity. I clear the space of the energy of people or things that had no purpose in this household. I ask that this clearing be gentle and that all of this energy would be returned to its source. This is short and sweet prayer. Very cute, very powerful indeed. This is the another step. Light black candles to protect you from negative spirits. Black candles repel negative energy, so they make it hard for bad spirits to connect with you. Plus, burning candles will give the room some ambience while you're using your Ouija board. White candles can also help remove negative energy. You might also burn a blue candle to help open the lines of communication between you and the spirit world. From my experience, when I talked to an occultist and also a witch and also a psychic, they use one single blue candle for communication, and the blue candle is huge, like tall and huge, and they use it for specifically a Ouija session. They don't use it for anything else. And also, they get any other black candles, not the short ones, the one that is like lasts for almost 6 hours. And then they don't use any other candles because they know that the black candles actually repel or transmute negative energy and turn it into positive energy. They say that the beeswax black candle is very conduit for transforming energy. They can they say they can use white candles, but they prefer the black candles. So now that all that's over with, now it's time to prepare your participants. Gather at least 2 people to use the Ouija board with you. You need multiple people to build up energy and channel the spirits. Additionally, it's helpful to have someone who can take over and close out the session if you can't continue anymore. So it's like a designated drunk driver assistant. Everybody's drunk, like, you know, oh, it's everybody's afraid. It's up to me to say goodbye. Like, tell everybody, put your hands there, put your hands on the planchette. I'm gonna scroll down goodbye. If you are a designated person who is brave, it's up to you to bring everybody back to the center and say and close out the session by saying goodbye. Then the activity will be over. So according to this, it says if you have more than 2 people, you might have one person write down what the spirits is spelling out, so it's easier to read the message. So you have to have designated people, like, hey, you write what the spirit write about. I mean, like spell about, and the other person had to be the morale of people saying, hey, we're doing so good. And then the other person will be like, now, the one thing you don't want to do is panic. When you panic, everybody feel your energy. The spirits will feel your energy. The negative spirits will feel your energy. Even the dark energies will love that energy. So don't you dare. So the next one, make sure all participants are in good mood. Spirits can feed off your energy, so good vibes are essential. If you're feeling upset, you might accidentally attract a bad spirit. Similarly, you might have a bad experience if you're feeling afraid or anxious. To attract positive vibes, use your Ouija board when you're feeling upbeat. Stay sober. Don't ever use a Ouija board when you're high, when you're under the influence, like any drug substance, any alcohol substance, or especially, and I can't believe I'm saying this, don't use it when you're doing ayahuasca either, or any natural herb substance, because then you actually gonna see them all their decay and their spiritual fauna. Do not do that. Stay sober. No one can tell you how to Ouija, but you'll be more in control if you're sober. You might hold off on drinking until later, or any substances. Please, it happened to somebody. This person is still missing till this day. From my friend of a friend. Ask each participant to do a spiritual cleansing. Doing a cleansing ritual helps to dispel any lingering bad vibes. Before you get around the board, cleanse your spirit with a simple ritual before you talk to the spirits. You could meditate. Try envisioning yourself surrounded by a bright, cleansing light. Say a prayer of protection. It could be something as simple as let nothing be good let nothing but good energy surround me. Let nothing but good intentions fill me. Let my mind and body be calm and at peace. Take a herbal or salt bath. The best herb to use is lavender. Como la limpia is. I feel like lavender is like lavance. It's like lavender. It's like to clean yourself. It's the most beautiful thing because it's good to cleanse yourself, especially the combination. I give you a little tip: a combination of mugwort, lavender, and rosemary. And if you don't have mugwort, it's okay. You can put lavender and rosemary because rosemary is like a protection from your aura. So your aura could be protected from evil spirits, and lavender cleanses all your bad mood away. So that's double win. And mugwort it helps to connect with spirit, the good ones, not the bad one, the good ones. And the best salt to use is sea salt. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, excuse, excuse me. Yeah, it's a podcast. So now, talking to spirits. Set a positive intention for your session. So, as a safeguard, you might state out loud you're only interested in talking to friendly spirits. That way, you're not purposely drawing a negative entity to you. We welcome friend. You could say this phrases. We welcome friendly, positive spirits to talk to us. Or this is a pure and positive space. Or this. Are there any good spirits who wish to speak with us? Nobody. I had in my research. I'm watching every Ouija incident in my lifetime. I never heard anybody use those phrases. They always use negative phrase, which is like that is ridiculous. Another one, ask the spirit to introduce itself. You get an idea of who you're talking to, and the ghost will feel better about talking to you. You don't have to talk to spirits that makes you uncomfortable. You might ask, "What's your name? How old are you? Where were you born? Where were you alive? When were you alive? When?" Excuse my mistake. Be careful what you ask. This is a serious one. Stick to positive questions to stay safe. You can technically ask a Ouija board anything, but some questions are a good idea. You could upset the spirit, or you might get a rude answer. Just like, "Hey, what's the Ouija?" And then they say, "Good luck." I feel like that's a rude answer, like a mockery. Do your best to ask questions that keep the good vibes going. Like, for example, where do you live? What do you do when you were alive? Are you related to any of us? What do you what do you like to do for fun? Don't ask for a physical sign ever. That the ghost is here. Oh my god, you had no idea. That gave me the ultimate ick. It's like why would you do that to yourself, to your friends that's surrounding you? Not only do you put yourself in danger, but you put your friends in danger, and the ones that didn't ask to die in such a sudden way is unfortunately had to die because you asked that question about, "Hey, this and here's that, is somebody there, show yourself." No, just no. It's temp it's so tempting to ask for proof, But with Sister Urge, to be on the safe side, don't give the spirits permission to do anything outside of the Ouija board. Also, keep in mind that some spirits won't have the ability to interact with physical world. Stick to communicating with the pointer. Be polite to the spirit. Like, come on, a spirit, I don't care what you guys think. A spirit is one of us. It was once a human, now it's no longer with us. Their body is on the ground, and their spirit is roaming freely without constraint. So the rudest thing that you could ever do is like tell them that they are not human. How rude. Or tell them they don't exist, even though they did exist in the previous life, which is in our world, but a few years ago. You understand me? And also, it's utmost rude to just go ahead and ask them something. I'm not gonna repeat myself because I don't want some idiot to do it on in their social media, and then that person showed up at the corner of your bedroom watching you whenever you go astral projecting. And trust me, they could easily take over your body by, if you are prone to sleepwalking, sleep talking, sleep mumbling, which is like it's a sleep talking and sleep mumbling is total different things, trust me. And also sleep writing. So if I was you, don't be rude to a ghost. Be polite to the spirit. Spirits can get annoyed and upset just like anyone. While you don't need to worry, it's nice to treat the spirit with respect. Don't ask questions that might be offensive, and don't make jokes at the spirit's expense. That way you can avoid any unwanted negativity or unpleasant paranormal interaction or poltergeist. Or the worst of all worst, a crazy ass portal opening your home, and now you're wondering what the hell. Now you have a mimic, you have a fucking Wendigo, you have a fucking ghost stalker stalking you everywhere you go. Just don't do it. Be nice to them. Don't ask things like, how do you die? Rude. Why are you a ghost? Also rude, because eventually all of us will be a ghost or a spirit one way or another, because it might upset the spirit. Similarly, don't ask will any of us die soon. They don't want to know about that, and then if so, they can make it happen for you. Don't do that. Don't give them the chance to make it happen for you, because spirits can't see the future. They could get annoyed and might decide to prank you by giving you an upsetting answer. Yeah, and sometimes that upsetting answer come true sometimes. Don't do that. Now, another one is take everything the board tells you with a grain of salt. Just like people, spirits can lie too. Like, come on, they were once people. It should not be over everybody's head by now, okay? They were once people. If it's an entity that write down intricate stuff, then you're dealing with an entity, and there's no rules about how to come back with an entity. So you're on your own on that. If you have a very negative group in your circle, but if you follow the rules, then you don't have any of that such things. But back to what it said, take everything with a grain of salt, because sometimes there can be playful, mischievous ghosts might try to prank you with a mean message. If the spirit says something upsetting, it's best to just ignore it, because the spirit is just messing around. Spirits aren't fortune tellers, so they can't predict your fortune, your future. You don't need to worry about scary predictions from a Ouija board, which is true, but also the reason why a lot of people say, well, this happened. So, and what about that guy that I mentioned when he's building his fortune, and then he got fell off the roof, and then he's tell his family to keep the Ouija board in his family. And I'm just saying to myself, well, it's similar like that wish that I talked to in one of the interviews. It is best not to keep that energy within you. If somebody say that you ugly, for example, don't resonate that energy within you, because every time you do, and then you feel like that person is white, that's me. Your reality is changed, and now it match what the person said, that you're ugly, but you're not. It's the same thing when a witch say, hey, this, and this. As in, you will die at the Pacific Day. Then you're gonna really think about that day. And when that day comes, you're just like, oh, I stressed out for nothing. And then it happened because you felt relief, but all throughout a month and a half, you really believe. When you give that energy to the universe will send back that energy towards you. And when that day comes, you feel like, oh, nothing happened. And then it did. So, like, I'm going to say this once again. Take everything the board tells you with a grain of salt. Okay? Now, the ending of the session. End the session early if anyone feels uncomfortable. It's best to honor that. If a friend say, hey, I don't like this, just say, okay, goodbye. Stop using the Ouija board if you sense any bad vibes. Say goodbye right away and move on to another activity if things get too scary, which includes the pointer moving in a weird way. You could also try again when you feel better. Using a Ouija board should be fun for all of you. If it's upsetting people, it's probably best to do something else. So when somebody immediately say, hey, I don't like this, it's just like a friend at the party. Hey, I don't like it. I really want to go home. Don't be that douchebag that say, hey, just a little while. I'm getting my groove on. Stop immediately. I don't care if you're getting your groove on. Stop immediately. Take that friend home and call it a night. It's not all, life is not all about, hey, I'm getting my groove on. No, just say goodbye and end the session to keep everybody safe. Okay? It's the same thing with a Ouija board. If somebody felt uncomfortable, end the session. Say goodbye to end the session. Some people believe that not saying goodbye could leave a door open to the spirit world. Sometimes the spirit will end the session first by moving the pointer to goodbye, which is a good spirit. If that doesn't happen, thank the spirit and push the pointer over to goodbye yourself. Always say goodbye, no matter what. Even if you don't get any contact, just in case a spirit is hanging around but didn't move the pointer. After you say goodbye, flip the pointer over so it won't start moving around again. That's one thing that a lot of people don't do. Flip the planchette. Flip the planchette. Or flip the planchette and then cover it up with a velvet cloth so it will blind the pointer eye, so you are safe. That's the most important thing that a lot of people in the occult social media do not let you know. So that's why I'm pointing this out on this video archive. Now, burn the sage to cleanse away any lingering energy. So you really don't need to worry, but you might feel more at peace if you burn sage after using a Ouija board. Just make sure you open a window or door first so the energy or spirit has a way to leave. You might also tell any spirit they had to go. It's like don't say get the fuck out. Nope, don't do that. Just say thank you for being in with us and talking to us. It's like a guest. You invite them in your home, and now it's like how Disney people who work there just say, "Hey, thank you for coming and visiting Disney parks. I hope you have a great time and have a beautiful day." They didn't say, "I hope you come back soon," unless they say that all that time. But just say, "Thank you. Any spirit lingering in this home must leave." You can say it firmly like that. All spirit need to leave this home. You can say that, and there's no evil or negative connotation in them. Whatever you do, don't say get the fuck out. They will be like, "Oh, I can stay here longer. I don't mind." Since you're being so fucking rude about it, but I don't mind. I can stay here as long as I want. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. That's why they say not to do this in the graveyard, because they actually there and you are invading their sleeping place. Okay? And any other place like an abandoned hospital, abandoned asylum, an abandoned jailhouse, abandoned factory, especially in Virginia, they creep me out, and other abandoned places that you should not go because they have a horrifying history. Store your board and pointer after you use it. Pack up the board and place your pointer in a bag or a velvet cloth. Make sure the pointer isn't pointed over the letters on the board. Excuse me. Because some people believe that spirit can use the board without you there. And that's the scary part. You don't know what they're talking about. They're probably talking shit about your back. Or behind your back. That's why they squash your back, because they saw shit in your back and they squashing it. Let me stop. If you want to use your board as decor, which I highly don't recommend, just make sure the pointer isn't sitting on the board. Keep it put away until you're ready to use your board again. I would not recommend using your Ouija board as a decoration. I would not use your Ouija board for art pieces decoration or any other type of decoration around your house. I highly suggest not to use a Ouija board as a tattoo idea. I saw a lot of people use a planchette tattoo idea, which is cute, but I would not recommend it on anybody who are susceptible, like the people who sleepwalk. And also, do this is from my experience, because that happened to a guy who sleep with an Ouija board underneath his bed. Don't do that, because he had nightmares, and he's a very skeptical guy, and but the more he had nightmares, he said his nightmare became night terrors. Like there's something scratching him every time. It's like one minute he told me this dream that it was sitting around the corner, and then it's like each day is doing one activity at a time. One day it was sitting on the corner. Next day it was standing up. The other day it turned around. The other day it opened its eye, red eyes and everything, and then it inch closer in each day. And then his nightmare became a night terrors when it started scratching him, and then scratching him some more. And then he had so much scratch marks that we thought he did that to himself. He legit duct taped his arms with So he put his father let a glove on, and tape with a duct tape, and then he still gets scratched. Got scratched over his eyelids, his nose, his face, his cheeks. I can't believe there's scratch mark in his lips, his earlobes, like around his neck. It's like that thing was terrorizing him, and then he find out that he he just find out from a friend who gave him that Ouija board that they didn't close the session because there was a crazy entity that has a straight jacket, but the straight jacket was pure black, and his eyes was burning red eyes, and they did the Ouija board session in the asylum. So yeah, that's why he each night he's been suffering from the scratch, and he was like, maybe I have like hives or something. I'm like, this. I show him my hives, and I was like, this is hives. This is a paranormal activity that you have right there, sir. So yeah, I would not suggest anybody go through sleeping in a Ouija board underneath them. Like I said earlier, no Ouija board in your bedroom, especially underneath your bed, even in the fucking closet. Don't you ever do that. Don't, and especially the most important of all, do not ever put your Ouija board next to a mirror. That's a accessible portal for any spirits to walk through. And when it becomes physical, then it's like, yes, then it's a, oh, this is worse than poltergeist. This is worse than poltergeist. Don't you dare do that, because then you have your own doppelganger. And this doppelganger is not you. It's the spirit that you pissed off, and it's using your image, aka stolen identity, to mock you and pretend as you everywhere you go. And now you have an evil doppelganger. This is something that a lot of occults do not tell you about. And I'm telling you right now, it only happened few other people, not a lot, few other people. And they regretted it since, because they wasn't aware that you're not supposed to put an Ouija board in front of a mirror, because an Ouija board is a portal. It only needs a doorway to go through to our world. And that's something that is that's why they say to destroy, and this is from my experience, to destroy an Ouija board, you just break it up in 4 pieces. 4 pieces. You do not burn it. When you burn it, unfortunately, if you burn it, that's mean that entity is free. The doorway is free. So, excuse me, that's mean it could roam around you or the other friends that you access the board. They use that entity or spirit is using you as portals, and no matter how much you forget the session, you know you had let something out. So do not burn the Ouija. So first you break the Ouija 4 pieces. Then you dig 6. You go into the far off forest, the forest that you never knew before. Dig a 6 feet hole burial ground. Drop the Ouija boards on the ground. Put salt on top of it and put a clear quartz crystal on top of it. Bury the mound. Bury the Ouija. And you'll be surprised that any activity that's haunting you cease to exist. And whatever energy following you will not follow you. That's the proper way to expel the Ouija doorway. Not burning it, not water. Because, like I said about the mirror, mirrors are like water as well. If you try to bury, quote unquote, sink the Ouija in the water, whatever entity it is will come out of it. And don't try to be cute and say, I'll drop it into the sea. Unless you want 4 million views, doppelgangers ruining your life. And people say, hey, I saw you over there. Hey, wait, I saw you over there. No, 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 I saw you over there. That's crazy. Don't do that. The only thing that is simple is the ground. Somebody say the wind. I'm like, wind doesn't. I mean, with sage, it cleanses it, but it could do so much. It could do so much. Not to downplay sage, it could do so much. Because if you still experience poltergeist or ghost activity, it's best to bury it, because it's all the Ouija board is similar to the dead. It's a spirit. You have to bury the spirit, and then when you bury it, you just, according to what my higher superior that I talked to before I became a full-fledged witch, you had to walk away and never look back. Because if you look back, then according to what she told me, if you look back, then you had dreams about the Ouija, and your dreams were evaded by the Ouija, and then subconsciously you want to have another Ouija, and it's like no, and the same entity will come back to you. It's not buried; it will come back to you. That's crazy. So don't do that. So that's my experience. There's more do's and don'ts about the Ouija. That's the one that I read about the scribe. That's the legit one. There's other ones that was made in 2019. The do's and don'ts from other mediumship. It's there are below how to use an Ouija board, and I'll already take you with the long list of things, and hopefully you guys are writing it down for your safety. So this is the do's and don'ts of the Ouija. So do darken the room and entice the spirit to visit by lighting candles. And remember, people, this is made in June 25, 2019 by Ilia Desi. Uh, this is a mediumship. This person is well versed about divination, and she's great at crystal therapy. So they say, do darken the room and entice the spirits to visit by lighting the candles. Oh, excuse me, I need to drink some water. One moment. Oh man, that's the stuff. Flask. Do avoid possible distractions by turning off the television, cell phone, etc. Do balance the board upon your knees if possible. Do warm up the board by moving the planchette in circles or figure eight pattern. Do be specific about who you wish to communicate, like Aunt Mary or Ascended Masters. Do be cordial to your spirit guests, although it is okay to ask them to leave if they are rude guests. It is okay. Do write down a message letter by letter. Keep in mind that spirits often misspell, use slang, or will even text speak. Do have fun. And the point of the Ouija is to speak to the dead. Even though the dead is always with us. Like our ancestors always speak. Have you ever seen somebody speaking to themselves? And it's called whisper talk. And you whisper to something that is not there, and then they wait, and then something whisper back. If you catch a glimpse or hear catch a conversation and there's only one person, yeah, they were having a conversation, and you're not supposed to hear that. On to the next one. There's don'ts. Do not use the Ouija board by yourself. It is best to get a buddy to assist you. And I will tell you in a few minutes. Do not confuse the spirit with questions from too many people. Assign one person in the room to ask questions. That's very important. That's very important because they are looking at the person who is the one who's like is responsible to say goodbye. And if you start speaking up and you're not assigned to say goodbye, that spirit will be like, oh, I see double. I'm going to make sure to fuck with these dynamic. Don't give them the opportunity to do that. Okay? Let the speaker speak. If you're not the speaker, don't speak. Do not ask questions you don't want to know the answer to, such as, where am I going to die? You are not going to get a serious answer to these types of questions. Or something very awful. Do not ask questions you already know the answer to, like, what is my middle name? It's a seance, not a pop quiz. I hate that. I hear people do that in the videos that I had to study, and it's like, why? I'm like, it's like how a lot of people come up to me and say, Higurashi, or in Japanese, or like, since you know how to speak Vietnamese or Spanish or you know Japanese. I'm like, dude, when you learn how to speak and be aware, then I will talk to you. But this whole pop quiz thing ain't cutting it, honey. Do not allow the invited spirit guests to control the session. You want answer, not a lecture. Yeah, because whew, one ghost really lectured those immature brats, and they say, hey, your mom is shitting with this guy, and the friend that you think that like you hate your guts. Oh, and the other friend that you thought care for you want to kill you, and it's like, that's crazy, because you disrespected them, now they disrespected you and your whole life that you think is secure. But it's like, I'm gonna mock the fuck out of your life. Don't do that. Do not accept all communication as fact. Discern all information given. Only accept what feels accurate in your gut. I don't know. Like I said before, that person who did insult you is like, yeah. And do not be upset if your sound is a buzz. Sometimes spirits don't feel like talking. Like, if I'm in the afterlife and somebody say, hey, we need to contact you, and then you acting so rude to me, I'm like, y'all can figure out your own. I'm not answering shit. I am not answering shit. You're on your own, bitches. So, yeah, don't do that. But when it comes to seance by yourself, odd numbers never helps. odd numbers never help, especially 1 or 7. Well, 7 they say is a good luck number, but if you see a 8 person and you know it's not one of you guys, yeah, it's time to end the session. Especially if that 8 person looking kind of dead looking. When you're by yourself and you if you are positive sunshine like me or my other friend who's super super happy, like she is a bundle of joy or happiness. I have to say it's like very contagious. Then yeah, a spirit will be like a dark lala or entity will be like, ugh, I hate this. But if you are a dark lala person, they like, my type of brew or beer of negativity. I love that person. I want that person. I must siphon that person's energy. How negative and sad and pathetic they are. Don't be that person. Don't be that person to do a Ouija by themselves. Especially if you're blind, if you're deaf, or you cannot speak. Because I find out in my journey when it comes to Ouija, there's a rare case that somebody invite a person who is blind, and unfortunately the blind person had to see, like, sense things in their world, and it's like they sense it and they know they it's not a person there, but they know it's there, and it's kind of freaky to them. And for a person who is deaf, they can't tell. They can sign language, yes, but they can't tell how they rapidly feel, like, because it's happening all at once to them, and it's too much. And then for the people who cannot speak, the mute, it's like, and it's strange because this is a rare, very, very, very rare case. They start talking, and it's like they look shocked because they can hear it, but it's not. It's they imagine if you're a mute for the longest of your life, and then all of a sudden your mouth started moving, and that is not your voice. It sounds like a male voice or a little kid's voice or a grown person voice, even though you're whatever age you are. And that is freaky. That's why I highly advise those individuals to not do Ouija boards, because that is a rare case that should not be um whew, that's something very serious and very heavy. And I don't, if they were to tell you how it felt, they will be scared and upset and didn't want to, like, go through that. So just keep in mind, a Ouija board by yourself is bad, especially if you're prone to being a sleepwalker, a sleep talker, or you can see ghosts easily, and then you're doing a Ouija board by yourself, and now you're gonna vividly, even they could touch you. They say, "Oh, you can see me." That's the most scary shit I ever. Ooh, that's something that I don't want to witness for myself either. Now, this is the Ouija board August 19, 2024, which was updated by one of the Wickstar, which is, whew, they had different types of Ouija boards. And they don't call it a Ouija board, they call it talking, which is very interesting. Talking board. So the do's and don'ts, but they have a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts. Very intricate. So I'm gonna read through it. People have been interested in and drawn to a Ouija board for more than 100 years. It is thought to be a way to communicate with the dead and find an answer. No matter how you feel about the Ouija board, curious, respectful, or skeptical, it is important to know the right way to behave to have a safe and enjoyable experience. This guide will give you a full list of best things to do and not to do when using a Ouija board. The do's. Do choose the right environment, quiet and comfortable space, which we already talked about. Dim the light if you want to. Do gather a group, 2 or 4 participant, open minded individuals. Do set intention, clear purpose, positive energy. And do protect yourself. Grounding exercise, protective symbols. Which, if you have a cross, that's amazing. If you have an ankh, that's amazing. If you have a clear crystal quartz, amethyst, obsidian that you consecrate, and tourmaline, that's amazing. Do start with simple questions, like I said from the previous ones, because it said the same thing. And the reason why I didn't go over it is because, everybody know what the simple question is. It's a yes or no, you know, to gradually complexity. Do be patient and respectful. Wait for a response. Respectful communication. Do keep a record. It's important to have somebody to record what the ghosts say. Do close the session properly. Thank the spirits. Move to goodbye. Do reflect on the experience. Group discussions, which is very nice, and personal reflection. But before you do group this discussion and all that stuff, make sure, like that other rule that I talked about, you cleanse the space, you clean it up, you pour salt around that area you did the session with the Ouija board, and then you sage. And one thing, a sweet tip that I forgot to tell you, which is gonna help, a bundle of, it's a herb that is so, that bring in sweet energy and spirits to come to you. It's better than sage. They said that I try to remember what herb it is. They say you can light lavender, but it's not lavender. Rosemary is one of them, because it actually brings spiritual sweet guides to you. Sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is the one that you could bring good spirits to you. Sweetgrass. I know that smell is potent, but it actually leaves the air nice and positive. Trust me. Now there's the don'ts. And yeah, I did mention that. Don't use the Ouija board alone. Safety in numbers. Don't disrespect the board or spirits. No provoking. Handle with care. So this one, avoid no provoking. Avoid asking rude questions, of course, but handle with care. Treat the Ouija board with respect. Store it properly and handle it with care during and after the session. Like I said about, do not put it under the bed. Do not place it in front of the mirror. Do not put it in your closet. Just store it somewhere that you put like a salt and clear quartz on top of it, so the portal would not be open. Okay? Do not use the Ouija board when emotional or impaired. Clear mind, calm environment. Don't take all messages literally. Skeptical interpretation, critical analysis. Don't overuse the board. Limit session time. Avoid frequent use. And the session time, according to this, is keep session short. Ideally between 15 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to repeat myself. 15 and 30 minutes. Prolonged use can lead to fatigue and diminish the quality of communication. When somebody is fatigued, they get irritable. So that will lose all the good vibes, okay? And then it said, oh, one moment. Whew. Avoid frequent use. Using the Ouija board frequently can lead to an unhealthy obsession and potential negative experience. Don't do that. That that will bring in a demon of some kind that love people whose unhealthy obsession. Remember, look at what social media is. Unhealthy obsession. Don't forget to ground and protect yourself before and after. And continuous protection. Consider keeping protective symbol or objects around you during the session for added security. Do not take it off. If your protection is burning you, don't take it off. It's protecting you. That entity trying to possess you, but it's like, I can't get through because there's this thing. I know it hurts if it's burning you, or it felt cold, or it felt like it's invisible to you. Don't take it off, okay? Don't force the planchette. Natural movement. Allow the planchette to move naturally. Forcing it can lead to inaccurate message and disrupt the flow of the session. Hands lightly on the planchette. Keep your fingertips lightly on the planchette, allowing it to glide smoothly across the board. So the person who is designated to end the session is the one that helped all his group or her group to end the session. Okay? Don't ignore negative feelings. If you feel uncomfortable, trust your instinct. Immediate closure, okay? And like I said, don't use the board as a joke. A serious approach, respect for participants. That's mean respect the spirits that you're talking to, and respect the people that's around you that felt uncomfortable. Okay? Now they put a final thoughts. It say if you use a Ouija board with the right attitude and manners, it can be an interesting and educational experience. By doing these things and not doing them, you can make sure the session is safe, polite, and useful. Remember that a Ouija board is a tool that shows that what its owner want and how they feel. Respect it, be interested in it, and keep an open mind. You might find it to be satisfying trip into the unknown. Adequate for the Ouija board is more than following the rules. It's also about making sure that the spiritual discovery takes place in a respectful and safe space. Following this best practice will help you get around your lessons with confidence and ease, no matter how long you've been using it or how new you are at it. Enjoy the surprise, but put safety and respect first at all times. Have and then it said have fun talking, which is good. Like if you are serious, if you are a witch, occultist, psychic, if you're serious about your practice, a Ouija board can be a wonderful experience. Trust me, I know because I done research. I do spiritual board with my boyfriend. Nothing happened, and we just like closed it out, which is respectful. And then I just gave my board away, and there's no weird stuff happening to me, which is amazing. Um, but also it's not always the Ouija board, because I find out that before the Ouija board was invented, there is the oldest one, I believe, was the Chinese Ouija board, which is it consists of, I believe 128 characters that's all in one big tight circle, and then you use a red string or a cup to do um what's it called it, the it as a planchette to figure out your future. The other oldest one was the fox with the Tory gate on the top, and the letters, the Japanese alphabet below it, and then you use a yen coin to do what's it called it? Yeah, talking to it. So they have a different set of rules that is very very respectful, and they have additional rules that the, you don't want to neglect at all. It's highly advisable to not to neglect the Fox Tory Gate Ouija board from Japan, and the one in China is best not to neglect the also additional rules of that as well, because they have different rules. So it is highly respectful to not do that. And Ouija is not the only tool for divination, because I have a pendulum. Excuse me. I have a pendulum that I could talk to either my spirit guides, my angel guides, or the entities that are surrounded in the area. And my I always said to my highest good, I'm asking for my spirit guides, my ancient guides, and my ancestors to come to me and help me with something I need questions on. So there's other tools of divination, including pendulums, diving rods, crystals, and cards. Yes, your cards, your tarot cards, can be used as an Orisha type spirit, but it's very complex when if you're a well endowed tarot reader and you place your 78 cards like a circle around you in a neat evenly fashion, then you meditate, and you meditate for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and that's when you with your intuition close your eyes and you pick out what's around you, and you just pick out the cards, and then you lay it flat around you, like at the base of your feet or your crossed legs. And then when you open your eyes, then it give you your fortune. That's another way to excuse me, divine with the like a Ouija, but it's not a Ouija. You get what I'm saying? Because there is a safety to that that doesn't jeopardize your well-being. And the reason why Ouija is a little different from those other divination is because it's something that is like everybody know the alphabets. Everybody know the alphabet. Even if the alphabet is a little different from country to country, the I, A, E, O, U. Believe it or not, this is Spanish vowels. I, A, E, O, U is the same as the Japanese one, which is A, E, O, U. But Y is Y in Spanish, while the Y in Japanese is yeah, yeah, you know? So that's something to consider. And even though I went through so many occult pages that had the do's and don'ts. It's the overall importance is if you're well endowed and you want to explore more of your divination, your occultness, your wish, your psychic, whatever you're pursuing in your lifetime, it is Ouija is the best way to, you know, have that under your belt. Just keep in mind of the rules because it's something that it should not be, take it for granted or just being overly disrespectful to. It's like a telephone to the dead. It's like ring ring, hello, yes, I'm here to talk to you out of respect. You are our guest, and I want to talk to you. You know, it's the same thing with my pendulum. I love my pendulum. It's same, but like I said before, there are different divination tools. They all work, quote unquote, the same, but they are totally different. And that's something that a lot of people need to understand. Even the cards, like I remember I watched a video because I was studying people's reaction on Ouija, and it's very funny how I see one person just go all like ham and she's like, oh my god, I'm scared. And it's like, oh, and I saw what they scare of, and I noticed that there's in the video I saw the Empress and the Hierophant and the I forgot the other one, the Empress, the Hierophant, and uh, I know it's the one that deals with the moon. Hierophant, I think it is. So it I think it's they try not to represent Maid and Mother Crone, and I'm in the tarot cards, and then they have a blue candle, and I think it was in a nice little abandoned place, which I really I recognize that place, but I'm not gonna say where. And I was like, oh, so basically, unfortunately, a witch was practicing to summon Hecate, but her session got interrupted by a group of explorers. So she's hiding. He or she is hiding, while the explorer is just like, "Oh my god, look at this! Oh my gosh, who left us here? Oh my gosh!" And it's like, never supposed to leave your session. I know there's people coming in and it's scary. You don't know what they're gonna do to you with their cameras and they are guys. This might be a lady or a feminine guy that or a person who don't want to be caught in camera and they left the session like that. So yeah, I understand a lot. The guys thinking, "Oh my god, this is bad," and it's like, no, it's not. It's just they trying to summon Hecate, and unfortunately, the session got interrupted. Like how my ritual got interrupted when I visited an unknown park in Florida, and then I I I was saying something really powerful spell that I wrote down that I was surprised it brought in the freaking rain, and then it brought in the freaking rain. I will not tell you what spell I did, and it rained and it kind of messed up the thing, and I thought it'd blow out the candles. Not one candle blow out. So I'm like, oh, okay. I continue with the session, and then I'm done. And then I close out and thank the spirits, and then leave this unknown park, which is good to know. So it is, yeah. That is a person who left the session, and didn't blow up the candles because they're gonna come back right to it. So yeah, it's just that they don't trust people. I don't trust people either. If I'm in the middle of doing a ritual and then they just want to know what I'm doing, I'm like, ugh, I would run away. And but if they were to like destroy the ritual, sucks for them because that's mean that the entity that I call for, they're just like, oh, how rude, and then unfortunately they follow them home. So let's see. Now I know. I think I tell everybody about this. You know, Ouija is it is very what's it called? It is very detailed about the rules, and it's nice to understand each and every one of these rules. But I just want everybody to be safe out there, and I want people to know that a Ouija board is not all doom and gloom and scariness. If you are a psychic reader, a witch, a cultist, it is best not to do the things that is unorthodox or orthodox. But now I could finally give, since I went through all the do's and don'ts of each and every individual who write about the Ouija boards. This is the atypical rules that I would say to you guys. So the atypical rules, I already told you, I sprinkle here and there in the ones that I read. So there's another one. When doing uh when you cleansing the space, make sure there is no cats, there is no dogs, there is no guinea pig, there is no hamster, there is no parakeet in your session, because what happened is that dog will freak out, and they are also produce negative energy. So if anything, when you're doing a session, it's best to go to a place that has no animals whatsoever. The birds outside your house, that's okay. Any animals outside your home, that's okay. But inside your home, when they feel something, they will produce negative energy. That this one is come from a good friend of mine who said, "Hey, my dog keep barking," and the guy who's lead say we have to end the session. So they end the session, take the planchette, turn it upside down, and he put a velvet piece around it so it won't. Because the reason why I say velvet, unlike cotton or linen, velvet will not let any light seep through, and it won't see anything. And he took the planchette off the board. And then they want to know what happened to the dog, which is a golden retriever named Bessie. And she's was barking at a corner, and she was growling and being abrasive. So they salt that corner, open the door, sage it with sweet grass. And they say, "Thank you for coming to our home. It's time for you to leave. We appreciate your stay." So, yeah. Another thing that is an unorthodox or maybe orthodox rule is whenever you do a reading, when you want people to have good mood, some people have a good mood on a rainy day. That's amazing. That would make a good session. But some people don't like rainy days, so they feel sad. So make sure it's the weather. The weather is the key factor of your reading session. If somebody not feel up to it, it's best not to invite that person because they may not like that weather. Invite somebody who loves the weather, and then you ask them, "Hey, you want to do a Ouija?" They'd be like, "Hell yeah, just do that." So another unorthodox rule of the Ouija is whenever you're cleansing the area, when you're cleansing the area, if you have, if you don't have like clear quartz, it's okay. What you can use is, it doesn't have to be a giant clear quartz or a, an intricate, beautiful one. It's okay. You can use obsidian and you consecrate it. And how to consecrate it, finally, I could get to this, is you hold it in between your palms. Like you, first you rub your palms together and then think about all the good intentions and place it onto that obsidian. And then as soon as you feel it going in, you just scream, "Ha!" And then that energy is absorbed to the obsidian. Okay? And then you place that, if you have more than obsidians, more than 4 obsidian, you place it in each corner of the room and then around the circle, like a big giant circle, and then place the salt outside the rim of the obsidian, and then you have the most powerful protection you could ever ask for. And if you're a crystal maiden, I love you bitches, then you can make that a fucking wall to wall protection with sweet grass and all. And then you could talk to the highest of all highest God and goddesses. Trust me, that would be fire as hell. Because that happened to one witch and she's like, "Hey, guess what? I know how to do magic." I'm like, holy shit. Anywho, there's another one. One moment. If you have a consecrated water, like I'm drinking water right now from this flax, um, if you have a concentrated water, some people, from my experience, they drench the board with holy water and then they just put it outside in the. Yes, it will warp the board, but for whatever fucking reason, it didn't warp this board. And now she said, now this board is only negative, not not negativity, positive reinforcement for all positive spirits and positive entities. And I'm like, holy shit. So, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Uh, Sorry if I burp in y'all ears. How rude of me. I am so rude. I do apologize. So, when it comes to that, it is better to reinforce with a prayer on it when you spread the holy water, and then that board is now energized. And I feel like an energized Ouija board with good intention will easily bring in positive angels, spirit guides, animal guides, you name it. So, yeah, this is the unorthodox type thing. Also, if you have plants around you, like it depends on the plant. Dead serious, it depends on the plant. For example, if you have sunflower plant in your home or another positive yellow plant, I forgot what it is. Is it lilies or either one of those can raise the vibration of that home. So it's like, according to her, she said beautiful leafy greens everywhere. The ones that uh, exude positive energy, not the poisonous one, because oof, trust me, you don't want those. Even though if you have those, it's okay. It's just not in that room that you're gonna do a Ouija board. And the reason why I stress enough about the playroom to be the Ouija board session, or according to my friend, plant room, is because it dispels negativity. It dispels negativity as type of feng shui. If you know about feng shui play a lot when it comes to a Ouija board. So it's best to just make sure when you're in that feng shui area of the house, it dispels negativity and only good spirits go there. Trust me, you will have a good time talking to the Ouija board. Another thing, ooh, I'm on a wall with my own orthodox experience from other people and wishes and psychics and and mediums. Oh my! Another thing when it's on orthodox that I know was crazy to me, because I saw that video and that we were just like, me and my friend was slapping our foreheads like, what the fuck. This guy went to the cemetery at the and there, and we were like, he didn't, he did. So there's a tree. Imagine you walking in the cemetery or a graveyard. There's a tree on your left hand side, which is not a good feng shui, and that tree is located at the crossroad. And the crossroad is where the tree is at the beginning of the crossroad where you're standing. You don't want to do an Ouija in the middle of a crossroad. Are you crazy? It's not only the Ouija of Papa Legba visit there, but other entities as well. The entity from Japan one, I forgot her name. She visited that crossroad. If you stroke the comb in session. There's another one in the Chinese lore. If you go to the graveyard of a Chinese person and also a Japanese person, a black person graveyard is Papa Legba. If it's a, oh man, don't ever do that, because a banshee, and if it's all like uh, Irish people, and you see a banshee and she looking at you like angrily, you pissing her off. It's like, hey, these people are sleeping. What the fuck you doing here? It's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like any, because I saw that video, the planchette moving really crazily, and then the board started burning. And one of the two things that my friend said, or actually the my friend former friend of a witch said, she said to me, hey, either A, this is a Christian graveyard and this person came in mocking God's people, which is a big no-no. Or if they're all Satanists, then yes, the devil hear his call and burn up the Ouija board. Two of the things are either bad. Don't do that. That's why they say don't do a Ouija board in the graveyard. I know Elijah Bond have an Ouija board, but he doesn't have a planchette near him. And to not have his name on that tombstone is crazy. Like, wow. So, and there are other unorthodox thing. Like, that is crazy. And I know my session is a little longer, but I want people out there to know that it's okay to do a Ouija board, but also if you're not strong will, it's not okay to do a Ouija board. If you're not a strong will person and you're scared of all the rumors that talked about, about Ouija, I suggest not to use it at all. If you're not strong will, don't use it. Don't even try to think about it. Your spirit is not strong, and you have a weak constitution. So it's best not to um, play with yourself. Okay, excuse me. But if you are a strong constitution and you know these, you know, do's and don'ts and preparation, everything, that's mean you are a seasoned spiritual person. You are a seasoned spiritual person that know what to do, and you don't do it a lot, but you do it when it needed for or what it's called for. Okay, because you know that this is something that the dead, even the entities, don't like to be used. Like, you don't want to talk to them every time, but you talk to them for the right time. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you individuals. Okay? So it is important to make sure that you are sound and strong mind, a strong spirit. Yeah, I could be one of those strong minded spirit. I don't have a Ouija board with me. I used to have one, and because a friend of mine who's also a wish, many years ago, we were ready. I done research. I read books. I'm a total nerd, a wishy nerd. But but it is something that a lot of people may have, hmm, because with her, I'm not gonna say her name. I'm gonna say a pseudonym. Uh, Betsy was so scared because she at the last minute saying no, I'm scared. There's so many rules, and I was like, but you're a witch. Why would you be afraid of these rules? You listen to the rules of your covenant, and because I'm a solitary witch and she's a covenant witch, so I'm like, why would you be so afraid of these rules? And it's something that past covenants cover, even the unorthodox one, because it happened to them and they know how to combat it. And she was like, yeah, I'm bailed out. So she bailed out, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not doing it by myself. So respectfully, I cleansed the board, and we because I cleansed the board before, to prepare ourselves, and then when she say no, I cleansed it after, and then just close it, and then I gave it to somebody who's like, thank you. I even give them my because it when I closed it, I had my salt and my crystal clear quartz on it, and I gave it to them because I don't want whatever energy seeping out towards them. They say thank you, and I told them the rules, and they said, "Oh my God, that's even helpful." So yeah, it's something that is very respectful. So sh I was surprised that wish Betsy wasn't strong enough. Um, and I'm not crying for spell milk, but it happens. So, yes, be wary of the unorthodox one, because that could help you tremendously on better experience to talking to a Ouija board. Okay, I would not do a Ouija board on abandoned buildings, like I mentioned earlier. I would not do anything that has a history of poltergeist activity in your home or outside your home, or somewhere that your neighbor wasn't aware that they have a dead body underneath their house. It's good to do a lot of research and then you do a Ouija session, and make sure not to do it a lot, okay? And remember, spirits used to spirits was once human. They were once human, okay? Respect, respect, respect them, okay? And entities, they have been watching us way before we were born and way after when we are pass away, okay? So respect them too. And I hope you guys enjoyed this mythical information. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. But I hope you understand and do intense research. And hey, why not make your unorthodox rules about the Ouija that is positive, you know? And the ones that is a no that you could share in a forum in subreddit or another forum like, Instagram or TikTok. Okay. Now you guys have a good night, and I hope you have a beautiful sleep full night. Ta ta.